Welcome to my channel. Today's video is not just about learning English. It's about rewiring your brain so that what you hear stays with you forever. Because let's be honest, how many times have you listened to something in English, understood it in the moment, nodded your head, and then just 2 minutes later, it was gone? You couldn't remember a single word. You're not alone. Almost every English learner struggles with this. The problem isn't your ears. It's not that you can't hear. It's that your brain hasn't been trained to remember. But here's the beautiful truth. Your brain is like a sponge. The more you train it, the more it remembers. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to listen in a way that locks English into your memory permanently. So stay with me until the very end, because what you're about to learn can completely change the way you listen, speak, and remember English for the rest of your life. Chapter 1. The Secret of Active Listening. Most people think they're listening when they hear something, but there's a big difference between hearing and listening. Hearing is passive. The sound enters your ears, bounces around your brain for a few seconds, and disappears. You've probably had this happen. Someone speaks to you in English. You nod politely. You think you understand, but moments later, the words are gone. You can't repeat them. You can't even remember what was said. That's hearing. Listening is something entirely different. Listening is active. When you listen, you're not just letting sounds pass through your ears. You're working with them. You're catching them. You're connecting them to meaning, to images, to feelings. You're holding them long enough for your brain to say, this is important. Keep it. That's why active listening feels different. It feels like the words have weight. They stay. Let me tell you a short story about a learner named Aisha. Aisha had been studying English for almost 4 years. She had taken online classes, watched videos, listened to podcasts. But every time she tried to have a conversation in English, she froze. She thought she had a bad memory. She thought she was just bad at English. One day, during a lesson, her teacher said something simple. Aisha, you're hearing me. You're not listening. At first, she didn't understand what he meant. The teacher gave her an exercise. He said, I'm going to read a short sentence. I'm going to the store. Now repeat it. Aisha repeated, I'm going to the store. The teacher said, Good. Now close your eyes. Picture yourself walking to the store. See the street. Imagine the sunlight. Hear your footsteps. Now repeat again. She repeated, I'm going to the store. And this time, it felt different. She could see it. She could feel it. The words were no longer just sounds. They were a small movie in her mind. That's the secret. If you want to remember what you hear, you have to connect it to something alive inside you. If you listen without connection, your brain lets go. But when you link sounds to meaning, your brain says, this matters. Keep it. Here's what you can do right now to become an active listener. The next time you hear an English sentence, maybe in this video, don't just let it pass. Pause. Repeat it softly to yourself. And as you repeat, make a picture in your mind. If you hear, the coffee is hot. Imagine holding a steaming cup of coffee, smelling it, feeling the heat on your hands. If you hear, it's raining, imagine the raindrops hitting the window, the sound they make, the way it feels to step outside under an umbrella. Your brain remembers pictures and feelings far better than sounds alone. That's why we remember movies more than we remember lectures. The movie gives you images, emotions, characters. A lecture often gives you only sound. So if you want to remember, turn every sound you hear into a little movie in your mind. Another small shift that makes a big difference is repeating with intention. Many learners repeat words mechanically, without thinking. They say it because they're told to say it. But when you repeat with intention, you focus on every sound, every shape your mouth makes. You're not just saying it, you're feeling it. Try this. Say the sentence, "I need some water." Say it once without thinking. Then say it again slowly, feeling how your lips move on need, how your tongue touches the top of your mouth on T, how your voice rises slightly at the end. When you pay attention like this, your brain locks in not just the sound, but the experience of saying it. That's how it sticks. I know some of you might be thinking, but I don't have time to do all this when I'm listening. The truth is, you do. You don't need to do it for every sentence you hear. Even choosing 3 sentences a day to listen actively can transform your memory in weeks. Imagine just 3 moments a day where you pause, repeat, picture, and feel. That's 21 moments a week. Over a month, that's more than 80 powerful memory experiences. Do you think your English would improve if you did that? Absolutely. Here's the exciting part. Once you start listening actively, you notice your confidence growing. You'll be in a conversation and suddenly realize you remember what was said a few minutes ago. You'll watch a short video and realize you can recall entire phrases without effort. That's not magic. That's training. Active listening also makes English more enjoyable. Instead of struggling to keep up with fast speech, you start tasting the language, feeling it, owning it. You're not a passive receiver anymore. You're an active participant. And the more you participate, the faster your listening skills grow. So the seed I want to plant in your mind today is this. You can train your brain to lock in what you hear. You don't need a perfect memory. You don't need to be naturally gifted. You just need to stop being a passive listener. Every time you hear English, ask yourself, am I just hearing this, or am I truly listening? Because the truth is, every English learner you admire, the ones who seem to understand and remember so easily, they're not just lucky. They've learned to listen actively. And you can too. Chapter 2. Why you forget so quickly. Let me ask you something. Have you ever seen a phone number, told yourself you'd remember it, and then gone completely blank just seconds later? Or maybe you heard someone's name, repeated it in your head once, and by the time you turned around, it was gone. You didn't forget because you're bad at remembering. You forgot because your brain works in a very specific way. Here's the truth most people don't realize. Your brain is not designed to remember everything. It's designed to filter. Every second, your brain is bombarded with information, sights, sounds, smells, movements, feelings. If it tried to store all of it, it would overload in minutes. So your brain has a system. It keeps what it thinks is important, and it throws away what it thinks is not. The problem is, when you're learning English, your brain often puts what you hear into the not important box. And then, just like that phone number, it disappears. Think about it. How many times today have you heard random sounds? Cars outside, people talking, the hum of your fridge. Do you remember all of them? Of course not. Your brain decided they weren't worth keeping. Now here's the scary part. If you listen to English without focus, your brain treats it the same way. It says, this is just background noise, and it lets it fade away. Scientists have a name for how quickly we lose new information, the forgetting curve. Don't worry, you don't need to be a scientist to understand it. Imagine you learn 10 new English words today. Tomorrow, if you don't review them, you'll probably remember only 2 or 3. The rest? Gone. Within 24 hours, most of it has vanished. And by the end of the week, if you still haven't reviewed, you might remember 1 word, if you're lucky. That's how fast the brain lets go. This is why so many English learners feel frustrated. They watch a video, think, yes, I understand. But the next day, it's like they never saw it. They blame themselves. They think, I'm not smart enough. My memory is bad. I'm too old to learn. None of that is true. The real reason is simple. They didn't give their brain a reason to hold on. Let me give you a picture you won't forget. Imagine your brain as a big, busy train station. Every idea, every word, every sound you hear is a passenger getting off a train. The ones with tickets to stay, important information, emotional moments, repeated ideas, they walk into the city of your memory. But most passengers, they get back on the train and leave within minutes. Listening to English without focus is like letting all the passengers leave without tickets. They don't stay because your brain hasn't stamped them as important. So how do you get your brain to stamp English as important? Two things: repetition and connection. Repetition tells your brain, hey, this keeps coming back. I should store it. Connection tells your brain, this matters to me personally. Keep it. Without those two, even the clearest, most beautiful English sentence will vanish from your mind. But here's something important you need to hear. Forgetting is not failure. Forgetting is your brain's default mode. It's normal. You're not broken. You're not bad at learning. You're simply working with a brain that was built to survive in a noisy world, not to perfectly remember every English word it hears. The good news is, you can train your brain to remember faster and longer than you think possible. Let me tell you a quick story. There was a man named Roberto from Brazil. He had been watching English YouTube videos for months. He understood a lot while watching, but when someone spoke to him, his mind went blank. One day, he read about the forgetting curve. He decided to experiment. Instead of watching 3 videos in a row, he watched one short video, just 2 minutes, and repeated it 3 times in one day. The next morning, he listened again. The difference was shocking. He could repeat full sentences from memory, not because his brain suddenly became more powerful, but because he reminded it that the words mattered. Your brain needs those reminders. Without them, it treats English like background music in a cafe. Nice, but forgettable. With them, it treats English like the lyrics of your favorite song. You hear it once, and it sticks. Now, you might be thinking, okay, I understand why I forget, but what do I do about it? That's exactly what the rest of this video is about. We're going to work through simple, powerful listening habits that don't just help you understand English in the moment. They make it stick in your mind for days, weeks, even years. But before we move on, I want you to remember one thing. Forgetting quickly is normal, but remembering longer is a skill. And like any skill, it can be learned. You just need the right tools. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you one of the simplest and most powerful tools I know. A method I call the listen, repeat, remember loop. Once you understand it and start using it, you'll see your memory for English grow faster than you ever thought possible. So stay with me. Because if Chapter 1 was about waking you up to the difference between hearing and listening, and Chapter 2 showed you why forgetting happens so fast, Chapter 3 will give you the first real weapon to fight back against that forgetting curve. And trust me, it's going to change the way you learn English forever. Chapter 3, the listen, repeat, remember loop. Now that you understand why forgetting happens so quickly, it's time to give you one of my favorite tools for building memory from listening. I call it the listen, repeat, remember loop. It's simple, but don't let that fool you. This method is pure gold if you use it every day. The reason I call it a loop is because you're going to do 3 connected actions, one after the other, and then cycle through them again. Each step makes the next step stronger. And the more loops you do, the deeper the memory goes into your brain. The loop has 3 steps. 1. Listen once, just to understand. 2. Listen again. Repeat the words slowly, focusing on pronunciation. 3. Listen a third time. Connect the sound to a visual or story in your mind. Sounds easy, right? But let me show you why it works like magic. Let's start with step 1. Listen once, just to understand. Most English learners make the mistake of trying to understand and repeat and remember all at the same time. That's like trying to juggle 3 balls when you've never even held one. Your brain needs a moment to simply hear the words without pressure. Think of it like meeting a new person. When they say their name, the first thing you do is hear it. You're not trying to memorize it yet. You're just catching it. That's step 1. Step 2. Listen again. Repeat the words slowly, focusing on pronunciation. Here's where most of the magic starts. You hear the sentence again, and this time, you speak it. Slowly, clearly. You don't need to match the speaker's speed yet. You're giving your brain and mouth a chance to work together. When you repeat slowly, you feel every sound. Your tongue, your lips, your breath, all working to shape the English words correctly. This is important because your brain remembers things better when your body joins in. That's why children remember songs. They sing them. They don't just hear them. Step 3. Listen a third time. Connect the sound to a visual or story in your mind. This is where you lock the memory in. The human brain is a storyteller. It loves images, feelings, and scenes. So you take what you heard and turn it into a small movie in your mind. If the sentence is, "I'm drinking tea," you see yourself holding a warm cup. You smell the tea. You feel the steam on your face. Now the sentence is alive inside you. Let's try it together right now. This is your interactive moment. Don't just watch me, do it with me. Our example sentence is, "The sun is shining." First, step 1, listen once, just to understand. I'll say it slowly. The sun is shining. You just listen. No need to repeat yet. Feel the meaning. Picture the sun in your head, even if only for a second. Step 2, listen again. Repeat the words slowly, focusing on pronunciation. Say it with me, nice and slow. The sun is shining. Notice how your tongue touches behind your teeth on the N in sun. Notice the SH sound in shining. Take your time. Say it again slowly. The sun is shining. Step 3. Listen a third time. Connect the sound to a visual or story. Now close your eyes. Imagine standing in a field in the morning. The sun is warm on your face. You smile. You say to yourself, "The sun is shining." Can you feel it? Can you see it? Good. Now say it one last time, with the picture in your mind. The sun is shining. That's one full loop. Listen. Repeat. Remember. Why does this work so well? Because you're not just feeding your brain sound. You're feeding it sound, movement, and meaning. You're engaging your hearing, your speaking muscles, and your imagination all at once. That combination makes the memory much harder for your brain to throw away. Let me tell you about a learner named Farid. He used to listen to English podcasts every morning. He understood some of it, but by the time he got to work, he couldn't remember a single sentence. Then he tried the listen, repeat, remember loop. Instead of listening for 30 minutes, he picked just 5 sentences from the podcast. For each one, he listened, repeated slowly, and pictured a scene in his mind. After 1 week, something amazing happened. He could remember all 5 sentences days later. And when he spoke to people, those sentences came out naturally, almost without thinking. Here's something important. You don't need to do this with every sentence you hear. Even doing it with 3 to 5 sentences a day will make a huge difference. Quality is more important than quantity. Better to remember 5 sentences forever than to forget 50 by tomorrow. So here's your challenge for today. After this video, pick one short English video or audio clip, maybe a scene from a movie, a line from a podcast, or even part of this lesson. Choose one sentence you like. Do the loop. 1. Listen just to understand. 2. Listen again and repeat slowly. 3. Listen a third time and picture it in your mind. Then, later in the day, test yourself. Can you still remember it? Can you still see the image? Can you still say it clearly? You'll be surprised at how well it sticks. The listen, repeat, remember loop is simple. But like all great tools, it works only if you use it regularly. Make it part of your daily English routine, and you'll start to notice something powerful. You're not just hearing English anymore, you're keeping it. And once you keep it, you can use it. And once you can use it, you're on your way to speaking naturally and confidently. In the next chapter, we're going to make this even stronger by adding a step most people completely ignore. A step that multiplies your memory by making you interact with what you hear instead of just practicing it alone. That step will take your listening skills from good to unforgettable. So keep watching, because the next part is where we take your memory training to the next level. Chapter 4. Shadowing, the memory multiplier. If the listen, repeat, remember loop is the engine of memory, shadowing is the turbo boost. This is the step that makes your memory sharper, your pronunciation clearer, and your confidence stronger, all at the same time. And the best part? You don't need an hour a day. Even 5 minutes of shadowing can change the way you listen, speak, and remember English. So what exactly is shadowing? Think of it like being an echo, but a fast one. You listen to English, and you repeat what you hear immediately, almost at the same time as the speaker. You're not waiting for the sentence to finish. You're chasing the words as they come. It's like trying to keep up with a moving train. At first you feel slow, but soon you start matching the speed. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but my pronunciation isn't perfect yet. Don't worry. Shadowing is not about sounding perfect. It's about training 3 powerful skills at once. Your ears, so you catch the sounds more quickly. Your mouth, so the words feel natural when you say them. Your memory, so what you hear doesn't just pass through your brain and disappear. When you shadow, your brain is doing double duty. It's listening and speaking at the same time. That combination is powerful for memory because you're not just passively hearing, you're actively producing. And when your mouth moves with the words, your memory grabs them and holds them longer. Let me give you a quick story. There's a learner named Miriam from Egypt. She used to watch English dramas every night. She understood a lot in the moment, but 2 days later, nothing stayed in her mind. She felt frustrated. Then one day, she heard about shadowing. She decided to try it for just 5 minutes a day with her favorite TV show. She picked a short scene, less than a minute, and played it again and again. She listened and tried to speak at the same time as the actors. At first, she stumbled. She missed words. She laughed at how slow she was. But by the 3rd day, something surprising happened. She could shadow the whole scene almost perfectly. And the even bigger surprise? Weeks later, She could still remember entire lines from that scene without trying. Why? Because shadowing made her active in the learning process. She wasn't just hearing English. She was living it, in her ears, in her mouth, and in her memory. Now, let's make this real for you. I want you to do a shadowing challenge with me right now. Here's our practice sentence. I'm learning English every day. We'll do this in 3 quick steps. 1. Listen. I'll say it at a natural speed. Just hear it. I'm learning English every day. 2. Shadow. Play the echo game. As soon as I start, you start. Don't wait for me to finish. Even if you miss a word, keep going. Ready? I'm learning English every day. Go with me. 3. Repeat. Do it again. This time, try to match my rhythm and speed as closely as you can. I'm learning English every day. Go with me again. Good. You just shadowed your first sentence. Simple, right? But here's the secret. When you do this for a few minutes every day, your brain starts locking in English faster. You'll notice you remember phrases without even reviewing them. Here's why shadowing works so well. When you speak along with someone, you're forcing your brain to process the words in real time. There's no, I'll think about it later. You either keep up or you fall behind. That urgency wakes your brain up. It pushes it to pay closer attention to every sound. And when your brain pays closer attention, it remembers more. It also improves your listening speed. Many learners understand English when it's slow, but get lost when it's fast. Shadowing trains your ears to move faster because you're running alongside the language instead of chasing it from far behind. And here's the best part. Shadowing builds muscle memory in your mouth. Every time you say the words, your mouth learns the movement. Over time, your tongue and lips know where to go without you thinking about it. That's how speaking becomes automatic. So here's how to make shadowing part of your routine. Pick short clips. 10 to 30 seconds is enough. It could be from a movie, a YouTube video, a podcast, anything you enjoy. Play and shadow. Repeat the clip, speaking along at the same time. Focus on sound, not perfection. Don't pause to fix a mistake. Just keep going. Do it daily. Even 5 minutes a day can transform your memory. If you want to make it fun, shadow your favorite movie character. Or pretend you're a news presenter reading the headlines. The more fun you make it, the more you'll stick with it, and the more your brain will remember. Here's your mini challenge for today. After this video, choose one short English clip you like. Shadow it 3 times. Tomorrow, do it again with the same clip. Notice how much easier it feels the second day. Then, after a week, try shadowing without listening first. You'll be amazed at how much you remember. Shadowing isn't just practice. It's performance. And every time you do it, you're not only training your ears and mouth, you're teaching your brain that English is yours. And when your brain believes that, remembering becomes natural. In the next chapter, I'm going to show you how to turn those remembered phrases into real conversation skills. So you're not just practicing in your room. You're ready for the real world. And that's where everything changes. Chapter 5. The Power of Emotional Connection. By now, you've learned how to listen carefully, repeat, shadow, and make words stick in your mind. But there's one more secret that separates ordinary memory from unforgettable memory: emotion. You remember what you feel far more than what you just hear. Think about it. Do you remember every meal you've ever eaten? No. But you probably remember the one you had with your best friend when you laughed so hard you almost cried. You remember the smell, the taste, the feeling, because it wasn't just food. It was a moment. Your brain loves moments that have emotion, meaning, and a little story attached to them. English is exactly the same. If you treat English like a flat list of words, your brain will throw most of it away. But if you connect those words to feelings, images, and personal meaning, your brain says, wait, this is important. Keep this one. Here's why this works. Your brain is not a computer. It doesn't store words as cold, lifeless data. It stores them as experiences. That's why when you hear a song from your teenage years, you suddenly remember where you were, who you were with, even what you were wearing. The song isn't just music. It's a time machine that takes you back to a feeling. So, when you hear a new English phrase, don't just hear it. Feel it. See it. Live it in your imagination. That's how you make it unforgettable. Let's try something together. The sentence is, it's raining. On its own, it's just 2 words. Boring. Forgettable. But let's add emotional connection. Close your eyes for a second. Imagine you're outside. You're holding an umbrella. The rain is soft, gentle. You hear the drops hitting the umbrella like tiny drums. The air smells fresh, like wet earth. Your shoes splash in a small puddle. You feel the cool air on your face. Now, say it, it's raining. Can you feel the difference? The words now live inside a scene in your mind. And because you made it an experience, your brain will hold on to it much longer. Here's another one. The phrase, I'm tired. Flat version, you just hear it. Say it, forget it. Emotional version, picture yourself after a long day. You just came home from work. You drop your bag on the floor. Your shoulders feel heavy. You sit down, close your eyes, and take a deep breath. You whisper, I'm tired. Now it's not just English, it's you. This is what I call emotional coloring. You take a plain black and white phrase and you add color, sights, sounds, smells, feelings. Your brain loves color. The more senses you use, the more powerful the memory becomes. Let me tell you a quick story. A learner named June from South Korea was struggling to remember even simple sentences. He could repeat them in class, but by the next day, they were gone. One day, his teacher gave him a challenge. Every time you learn a new phrase, create a little movie in your mind about it. At first, June felt silly, but he tried. He learned the phrase, I'm cooking dinner. Instead of just saying it, he pictured himself in his kitchen. He imagined chopping vegetables, hearing the sound of oil sizzling in the pan, smelling garlic and onions. He even imagined tasting the food. The next day, without looking at his notes, he remembered it perfectly. And not just that one. He started remembering dozens of phrases weeks later, because he had built a habit of making every phrase emotional and visual. So how can you do this with your own English learning? Here's a simple process. 1. Hear the phrase, just like in the listen, repeat, remember loop. 2. Close your eyes and imagine a real scene that matches it. 3. Add senses. What do you see? Hear, smell, touch, taste. 4. Add emotion. How do you feel in that moment? Happy, sad, excited, calm. 5. Say the phrase out loud while you're inside that mental scene. That's it. 5 steps. But if you do this, you'll turn a dead phrase into a living memory. Let's do another interactive one together. The phrase, I'm going to the beach. Close your eyes. The sun is warm on your skin. You hear waves in the distance. You smell sunscreen and salt water. Your bare feet touch hot sand. A seagull cries above you. You feel happy, free, alive. Now say it with me. I'm going to the beach. Doesn't it feel different now? You've just told your brain, this matters. Remember this. Here's the best part. Emotional connection doesn't just help with memory. It makes your speaking sound more natural. When you speak from a feeling, your voice changes. It has energy, rhythm, life. People don't just hear your words, they feel them. That's what makes communication powerful. And this works for any level. Even if you know just a few English phrases, you can make them memorable by adding emotion and images. You could take "good morning" and imagine waking up to sunlight through your window, stretching, smiling at your family. Suddenly, it's not just a greeting. It's a moment you own. So here's your challenge for today. Pick 3 English phrases you've learned recently. For each one, close your eyes and create a little scene. Add as many senses and emotions as you can. Then, say the phrase out loud while living that scene in your mind. Repeat it 3 times. Do this daily, and you'll notice that English stops slipping away so fast. Instead, it will start sticking like your favorite memories, the ones you can recall even years later. In the next chapter, we're going to make your memory even stronger by teaching you how to review at the right time so your brain never has the chance to forget. This is the key to turning short-term memory into long-term mastery. And once you have that, English will stop being something you study and start being something you own. Chapter 6. Listening in Small Bites. Most English learners believe this myth. If I want to improve my listening and memory, I have to listen to long lectures, full audiobooks, or 1-hour podcasts. They think more time means better results. But let me tell you the truth. Long listening without focus is like pouring water into a leaky bucket. Most of it just spills out. Why? Because your brain doesn't remember based on how long you listen. It remembers based on how focused you are while you listen. If your mind starts to wander, if you're just letting the sound pass through your ears without truly paying attention, your brain isn't storing anything useful. And that's why so many learners spend hours listening to English but can't remember even one good sentence the next day. Here's the good news. You don't need long, tiring sessions to get better at English listening and remembering. In fact, short, focused listening is far more powerful for your brain. Just like eating small bites of food helps you digest better than swallowing giant chunks, listening in small bites helps your brain digest English more effectively. Think about this. If I gave you a 60-minute English lecture and told you to remember everything, your brain would panic. It would start picking only random pieces. You'd feel tired, overwhelmed, and maybe even frustrated. But if I gave you a short, 2-minute clip and said, just focus on this. Listen carefully. Repeat. Remember. Suddenly, it feels possible. Your brain relaxes, focuses, and absorbs much more. I've seen this work for learners again and again. Let me tell you about Lucas from Brazil. He used to listen to English radio for 2 hours every morning while commuting. He thought he was improving. But when I asked him, "What phrases do you remember from yesterday's listening?" he froze. He couldn't recall a single sentence. So, I gave him a challenge. For the next week, no more 2-hour listening sessions. Instead, pick 1 2-minute English video every day. Listen to it 3 times. 1. First time, just listen for meaning. Don't worry about every word. 2. Second time, pause after each sentence and repeat it out loud. 3. Third time, listen and repeat almost at the same time, like shadowing. 7 days later, Lucas came back to me smiling. I actually remember the sentences now. I can say them without looking at my notes. That's the magic of small bite listening. It's short enough to stay fun and long enough to make a real impact. Now, I want you to try my 2-minute English listening challenge with me. This is something you can do every single day without stress, without excuses. Step 1. Pick a topic you enjoy. It could be travel, cooking, sports, technology, fashion, or even a scene from your favorite TV show. The more you enjoy it, the more your brain wants to remember it. Step 2. Find a 2-minute English video, podcast clip, or audio sample. Don't worry if you don't understand everything. You just need to catch the main idea at first. Step 3. Listen to it once without pausing. Just enjoy it. Step 4. Listen again, but this time pause after each sentence. Repeat it slowly. Feel how the words move in your mouth. Step 5. Listen a third time and try to shadow it. Speak along with the speaker as best as you can. That's it. Less than 10 minutes of work, but the results will surprise you. Why does this work so well? Because your brain learns best in short, intense bursts followed by breaks. Long sessions can tire your brain out, and when your brain is tired, it stops storing information effectively. But small bite listening keeps you fresh, focused, and motivated. It's also stress-free. Many learners feel guilty if they miss a long study session. But if your goal is just 2 minutes a day, you can always find the time. Even on busy days, you can do it during breakfast, while waiting for the bus, or during a short walk. Here's another tip. Small bite listening works even better if you connect it to emotion like we learned in Chapter 5. When you hear a phrase you like, create a little scene in your mind. For example, if you hear, "I'm making coffee," imagine yourself in your kitchen, smelling the fresh coffee beans, hearing the coffee machine, feeling the warmth of the cup in your hands. This turns a simple sentence into a living memory. Let's make this interactive right now. Here's a short phrase. The sun is shining. Step 1. Hear it. The sun is shining. Step 2. Close your eyes and imagine a bright sunny day. You feel the warm sunlight on your face. You hear birds singing. You smell fresh air. Step 3. Say it with me. The sun is shining. Step 4. Say it again, but this time smile as you say it. Notice how your voice changes when you add emotion. That's how even a tiny phrase becomes memorable. Here's your homework for today. Choose one 2-minute English clip. Listen and repeat as I've shown you. Add emotion and a mental picture to at least one phrase. Do this every day for a week. You'll find that English starts sticking in your head naturally, without forcing it, without struggling for hours. Small bite listening is not about doing less. It's about doing smarter. You give your brain just enough English to handle, and then you give it space to store it. Over time, those small bites add up to a big, rich vocabulary and a strong listening skill. And in the next chapter, I'm going to show you how to take all of this, the listening, the shadowing, the emotional connection, the small bites, and turn it into a daily habit that never feels like work. Because learning English should feel like living English. And when it feels like living, you never want to stop. Chapter 7. Review to Remember Forever. By now, you've learned how to listen, repeat, shadow, and even connect emotion to every phrase you hear. You've also discovered that listening in small bites works far better than drowning yourself in hours of English. But there's one more secret, and without it, everything you've learned could still fade away. That secret is review. I like to call review the magic glue of memory. Without it, even the best learning will slowly fall apart. With it, what you learn today can stay in your mind for years, maybe even forever. Let me tell you a quick story. Years ago, I was traveling in Japan. I learned a new Japanese phrase from a kind shop owner. She told me how to say, "This is delicious," And in that moment, I understood it perfectly. I even repeated it 3 times. I thought, wow, I've got it. But the next morning, when I tried to remember it, it was gone. Completely gone. I could remember her smile, the store, the smell of the fresh bread she sold, but the words? Nothing. I realized later that the problem wasn't my memory. The problem was that I didn't review. Your brain has something scientists call the forgetting curve, which simply means that if you don't review, you can forget up to 80% of what you learned within 24 hours. That's not because you're bad at learning. It's because your brain's job is to delete anything it thinks is unimportant. And how does your brain decide what's important? By checking how often you see or hear it again. If you hear something once, your brain says, maybe this is just noise. Let's clear it to make space. But if you hear it again tomorrow, your brain says, oh, this came back. It must matter. And if you hear it again next week, your brain says, all right, I'll keep this one. It's important. This is where spaced repetition comes in. I know, it sounds like a big, technical term, but here's the simple meaning. Review today, review tomorrow, review again next week, then again next month. Every time you review, you make the memory stronger. Every time you skip review, you let it fade. Think of it like watering a plant. You can't just water it once and expect it to grow forever. You have to water it regularly. Not too much at once, but enough to keep it alive and healthy. Your English is the same. Here's how you can use review to make English stay forever. 1. Day 1. Learn your new English phrase or sentence. Listen, repeat, and add emotion. 2. Day 2. Listen to it again. You'll notice it feels easier and more familiar. 3. Day 7. Review it one more time. It should now feel natural in your mouth and ears. 4. Day 30. Give it another quick listen. If you can still remember it easily, congratulations. It's probably yours forever. This takes just a few minutes each time, but the effect is powerful. Let's try it together with a simple phrase. I'm learning English every day. Today, you hear it. Repeat it. Imagine yourself sitting at your desk with your notebook open, feeling proud. Tomorrow, you hear it again and smile because it's familiar. Next week, you hear it and instantly say it without thinking. Next month, you still know it because you reviewed it enough times to make it part of you. The mistake most learners make is thinking, I already know this. I don't need to review. But memory is tricky. You might feel like you know something today, but that doesn't mean it will be there next week. Review isn't for the weak learners. It's for the smart learners. One of my students, Aisha from Egypt, had a big problem with remembering English. She worked hard, took notes, and listened daily, but her memory was like a sieve. Everything slipped through. When I asked her how often she reviewed, she said, "Oh, never. I just move on to new things." I gave her a simple challenge. Pick one short English clip she liked and listen to it again 3 times. Once today, once tomorrow, and once next week. She chose a 90-second cooking video. By the end of the week, she could say almost every sentence without looking. She was shocked. She said, "It feels like I didn't even study. I just remembered naturally." That's the magic of review. I want you to start your own listening review habit today. Here's what to do. 1. Pick one favorite English audio or video clip. It should be short, under 2 minutes. 2. Listen to it carefully today. 3. Listen to it again tomorrow. 4. Listen to it again 1 week later. 5. Listen to it again 1 month later. That's it. You'll be amazed at how permanent your memory becomes when you follow this schedule. Here's a bonus tip. Don't just review with your ears. Review with your mouth, too. Repeat the sentences. Shadow them. Say them while imagining a scene in your mind. The more senses you use, the deeper the memory goes. And remember, review doesn't have to feel boring. You can choose clips that make you smile, inspire you, or even make you laugh. The more you enjoy it, the more your brain wants to keep it. If you make review part of your daily routine, you'll stop experiencing that frustrating feeling of, I knew it yesterday, but I forgot today. Instead, you'll start feeling like English is part of you, always ready, always there. In our final chapter, we're going to bring all these steps together into one simple, daily system that will make listening, remembering, and speaking English feel as natural as breathing. Because the goal isn't just to learn English, it's to live in English. Chapter 8. Building a Listening Lifestyle. We've come a long way together. You've learned why you forget so quickly. You've learned the golden listen, repeat, remember loop. You've shadowed, added emotion, kept things short, and discovered the magic of review. But now it's time for the most important step, turning all of this into something you don't just do for a week, but something you live. Because the truth is, skills that last a lifetime are not built from one burst of motivation. They're built from habits so small and natural that you barely even notice you're doing them. That's what I want for you, a listening lifestyle. A listening lifestyle means that English listening is no longer a task you check off a list. It's just something you do, like drinking water, brushing your teeth, or saying hello to a friend. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel forced. It just happens. And the beauty is, when listening becomes natural, your understanding grows without you even realizing it. So let's connect the dots and build your personal listening lifestyle. Step 1. Listen actively. Passive listening is fine, like having English in the background while you cook, but active listening is where the real growth happens. That's when you're paying attention, hearing each word, and letting your brain work. Even 5 minutes of active listening a day will do more for your memory than hours of background noise. So every day, give yourself a short, focused moment where you are truly listening. Step 2. Repeat and shadow. Don't just hear English, speak it back. Your ears and mouth are teammates. The more they work together, the stronger your memory becomes. You've already learned shadowing, repeating almost at the same time as the speaker. It's not about perfection. It's about training your brain to connect the sound the meaning, and your own voice. This builds instant recall. So when you hear a phrase in the future, your brain says, "Oh, I know that one." Step 3. Add emotion. A flat sentence is forgettable, but a sentence that makes you feel something stays with you. So when you hear, "It's raining," don't just repeat the words. Picture yourself under a gray sky, holding an umbrella, smelling the wet air. See the drops splashing around you. The stronger your emotion, the deeper your memory. Make every phrase a little movie in your mind. Step 4. Keep it short and fun. You don't need a 2-hour lecture to improve. In fact, you shouldn't. Your brain remembers best in small, enjoyable bites. That's why I love the 2-minute listening challenge. Find a short clip, enjoy it, and repeat it. The more you enjoy your listening, the more your brain wants to keep it. If you're smiling while you learn, you're doing it right. Step 5. Review regularly. Review is the glue that makes everything stick. Without review, even your best learning can slip away. So follow the simple schedule. Today, tomorrow, next week, next month. It takes only a few minutes, but it tells your brain, "This matters. Keep it." Think of it as watering a plant. A little water often keeps it alive forever. Now let's put all of this into a daily routine that takes less than 15 minutes. 1. 2 minutes. Choose a short English clip you enjoy. 2. 3 minutes. Listen once for meaning. Then listen again, pausing to repeat each sentence. 3. 3 minutes. Shadow the clip. Speak along with the audio as best you can. 4. 3 minutes. Add emotion and a mental picture to 1 or 2 key phrases. 5. 2 to 3 minutes. Review a clip or phrase from yesterday or last week. That's it. 15 minutes. And you've done active listening, repetition, shadowing, emotional connection, and review, all in one simple routine. If you follow this routine every day, something amazing will happen. You'll stop thinking of English listening as a study session and start living inside English. You'll find yourself catching phrases in movies you used to miss. You'll understand song lyrics without looking them up. You'll overhear English conversations and smile because you get it. And the best part? You won't get there by studying harder. You'll get there by listening smarter. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine it's a year from now. You're sitting in a cafe and 2 tourists at the next table are speaking English. A year ago, their words would have sounded like noise. But now, you hear them clearly. You understand instantly. Not because you spent hours memorizing vocabulary lists, but because you trained your ears, your mouth, and your memory to work together. It feels effortless. You're not translating in your head. You're just understanding. That's the gift of a listening lifestyle. It's freedom. So here's my challenge to you. Starting today, commit to this 15-minute listening lifestyle. Do it for 1 week, then 2 weeks, then 1 month. Before you know it, it won't feel like a challenge anymore. It will feel like a part of you. And when listening becomes part of you, English will no longer be something you study. It will be something you live. In a moment, I'll give you a call to action so you can keep this journey going. But before that, remember this. Every fluent speaker you admire got there one day at a time. They didn't wake up fluent. They built habits. They listened smart. And now, so will you. If you'd like, I can now give you the final call to action for this script that will perfectly close the series and push viewers to subscribe, like, and comment, while keeping them motivated. If this video has helped you understand how to listen and remember English better, don't let this just be another good idea you forget tomorrow. Make today the day you actually start your listening habit. Take one small clip, listen actively, repeat, shadow, add emotion, review, and watch how your memory starts to change. And if you want more lessons like this, slow, clear, and made for real learners, then subscribe to this channel right now so you never miss a step in your journey. Hit the like button so I know this lesson helped you, and share this video with a friend who's learning English too. Before you go, tell me in the comments one English phrase you listened to today and can still remember. I read every comment, and I'd love to see what's staying in your memory. Your comment might even inspire someone else to keep going. So start your habit today, stay consistent, and I promise, English will stay with you forever.